New at 4 in today's Community Focus, as we've been reporting, a government shutdown is once again looming as lawmakers in D.C. attempt to come to an agreement before the clock strikes midnight. Joining me now live from Washington is Congressman Gabe Amo. Congressman, thanks for taking the time out of your busy afternoon. All right, I think we're having an audio issue, but maybe we can fix that while I ask this question. So, Congressman, what is the latest on the negotiations happening right now on Capitol Hill?
Well, right now I am here at work while many of my House Republican colleagues are on vacation. They are not here. We showed up in front of Congress in a pro forma session, and it was vacant as it relates to Republicans. However, the Senate still has a vote tonight. But where we are is essentially we need to have Republicans come to the table and avert a shutdown. They control the House, they control the Senate, and they control the White House. And Democrats are demanding that we address the healthcare challenges that people face. If we do not see action from this Congress, we will see healthcare costs go up for Rhode Islanders. Premium tax credits will not be there, and people will see up to 200% increases. In addition, we've got $1 trillion out of the healthcare system from the big ugly law. So we're calling on Republicans to come to the table. They're in charge. They can avert a shutdown, and they can also help us stop the cuts, save healthcare, and lower costs for Americans.
So Democrats are blaming Republicans. Republicans are blaming Democrats. How likely do you think it is, Congressman, that there's going to be an agreement tonight before the deadline?
Well, I'm very pessimistic about an agreement tonight, to be honest with you, just because of the state of the negotiations and the fact that Republicans don't want to come to the table with a solution to the health care crisis that congressional Republicans and Donald Trump have created. It's that simple. If they bring forward a solution to avert the cuts, to lower costs, and to save our health care system, they will have willing participants out of Democrats.
Well, we heard a little bit about this in the top of the show before the commercial break. What exactly does it mean for the average Rhode Islander if the government does shut down tonight? Will folks wake up tomorrow and notice a difference?
Well, it'll be uneven. What will happen is if you have an issue with the Social Security Administration, you might mean longer wait times. If you are in the process of getting a small business loan from the SBA, you may not be able to complete that process, that transaction. If you're traveling through the airport, TSA and air traffic controllers are mandated to work without pay. So there may be some disruption there. And of course, importantly, for our veterans, if you are getting services from the VA, there could be delays. The issue here is the president gets to decide on a lot of what happens in a shutdown. And that is why it is imperative that Republicans come to the table and help us end this as quickly as possible by funding the healthcare priorities that Rhode Islanders have told me over and over and over again they want us to address.
Congressman, I sort of feel like this has become almost a standard bargaining chip at this point. It feels like every few months we're warning people of a potential government shutdown because there's this stalemate in Congress. Why is that?
The challenge here, and as I illuminated, the Republicans have control of Washington. They have opted to operate in chaos. We had, at the end of last year, a similar brinksmanship driven by Elon Musk and Donald Trump, forcing the hand of congressional Republicans. Now we see the same chaos represented in not meeting the moment. You know, it doesn't matter whether you are in a blue district or a red district or a blue state or a red state. There are people who will not be able to pay for their health care and not be able to get the health insurance that they deserve because Republicans in Washington have chosen not to act. And that's a shame.
And just quickly before I let you go, Congressman, the other big story coming out of Washington today, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth addressing top military brass in Quantico, saying so-called woke practices in the military are over. Senator Jack Reed calling this a dangerous message. Have you had a chance to engage with the Secretary's remarks, and do you share Senator Reed's concerns?
Well, as the saying goes, this was a meeting that could have been an email. It is not clear to me what the objective of the secretary or the president, for that matter, the president who talked about militarizing our streets, turning the streets across America into training grounds for the military. In addition, what we heard was a lot of discussion about the enemy within. These are not the voices of leadership that the American people deserve, dividing us, speaking unconstitutionally about the military, and striking fear across this country. So it was quite a performance, but at the end of the day, we should be supporting our troops, allowing the leadership of our military to focus on what they need to do to keep our world and our country safe and not have to deal with partisan politics focused on culture wars.
All right, Congressman Gabe Amo, we are out of time, but thanks so much for joining us today.